I'm Aurore. You're watching Sky Captain 5.
We're back in Cyberpunk 2077, taking a look at the 2.1 update to the game, which is supposed to be the final update that they add to Cyberpunk, or the final main update. So be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So I had thought that the 2.0 update was sort of it, but they came out and they surprised us with this update that added some more immersive elements, some realistic elements, and some cooler things that you can do within the world of Cyberpunk and Night City. So, what are we getting here? On the PS5, we've got two differing options that are available under the settings. We've got the performance mode and also the ray tracing mode, and there is HDR support if you have a TV that is enabled for that. So with the ray tracing mode, it's a dynamic 4K at 30 FPS. It's more like 1440p-ish, and it is going to scale, obviously. And you have ray traced shadows. It's not the mode I recommend personally, as I like the performance mode quite a bit, which is a dynamic 1800p at 60 FPS, which feels fluid and looks really great. I do highly recommend going with this particular option. So with this review, we're going to be talking about, I guess you would say, the update, the game, and Phantom Liberty. So kind of talking about the whole package. So that should be fun and exciting to dive into. So Cyberpunk was, to me, the Cyberpunk world of my dreams, and I think here we finally got to that point where the scale of this one is really reaching the full potential that was set out for this at the launch. And yes, it has taken many years to get to the point where we're at now, where we do have the full exciting scope of Cyberpunk available to us. And this update here really did add, like I said, some new immersive things that we'll be diving into as soon as I can find a little bit of an area where we go down to show off what I'm trying to present to you. So we'll talk about the core game, and we'll talk about Phantom Liberty. So the core game itself is very well put together. It offers a lot of really interesting and exciting areas that you are able to visit and enjoy. Now, the full experience goes a little bit further if you are one of the individuals that does grab the Phantom Liberty expansion, as I do believe that adds a lot to the experience and adds a lot that you can see and do and interact with. So I always highly recommend diving into Phantom Liberty. I do have a separate review that kind of goes a little bit more in depth with that, and I do have interviews with a number of the cast that do the voice acting for the game, the core game, and the DLC as well, in case you were wanting further context into, kind of the rules and everything like that behind the scenes. I think it's pretty cool. So the first update, or part of the update that came out, was the addition of, well, the Metro system, which I guess was a highly requested feature where everyone's like, this didn't meet the expectations I had. And people would always tell me it's the Metro they wanted. I think it's the little... There's a guy playing guitar on here? You gotta be kidding me. I think it's a little silly because it's just like, it's public transit, but they do a number of different scenes, and, if you ever... if you ever wanted to take public transit, but don't want to take actual public transit, you could do so in Night City. And you know what? It's got some nice vistas to it, and you can blast your music in public and be one of those annoying people, whether you're on the train or off the train now too, which is great. So yeah, you can ride. You can use it as just like a fast travel point, but you can actually you can actually sit there and ride the train all the way around, which is exhilarating if that's what you've always wanted to do. Let's get the car going here. So another big addition or change is the update to motorcycles, motorbikes. So now you have... Why are you so far away from me? It's like it took me, like, it was faster for me to walk towards you, bike, than for you to get towards me. So now they've got, like, a center of gravity on bikes, so you can actually do, like, wheelies and stuff like that. Ugh. Sorry, the PlayStation, like, so the DualSense, it's got, like, the intensive adaptive trigger sets and everything like that, and it plays, like, audio through the controller. I don't know, I find the adaptive thing a little annoying for, like, driving and stuff. I know some people like it. It's, super annoying to me, honestly. I didn't want to do that. Not bad, guys. Public transit, please don't hurt me. Or public transit cops and the public, don't get angry. I'm just living my life. Okay, anyways. So, yeah, that was a feature, was upgrades to bikes, the animations when you're on bikes doing melee stuff. Huge change up. You're also now able to actually do dating and more romance stuff. So you can actually, so my character's with Judy there, so you can actually go and, like, cuddle and hang out and go and, like, send each other flowers and stuff, and, you know, do, like, dates on your, like, at your, like, apartments and everything like that. Like, you're a real couple. So if you're having troubles experiencing that in real life, you can do it in the game now. This game's got everything. So, yeah, if you've been waiting for that to be a thing, they've added that. As I was saying, it's more about immersive elements, if that makes sense. Like, they've gone and really tried to increase the immersion of the game. Now, when it comes to performance, there's still some hiccups and stuff like that. There's still some performance issues you'll probably come across, but for the most part, it runs pretty well, and I do think they have cleaned it up a little bit too, which is nice. And yeah, I think in general, this is really a great Ultimate Edition, quote-unquote, variant and version of the game. Cyberpunk is excellent, it's exciting, it has a lot to it. I hate, man, these adaptive trigger things are so annoying, because I wanted to stop earlier, but it won't, it won't let me just stop. Like, it's gotta... It's annoying. Sorry, the DualSense is annoying. I love this game, but, like, the DualSense stuff, I just don't really love. Oh, I didn't mean to throw a grenade. I have a pinata grenade? Why is my grenade a pinata grenade on here? You know what? It's because I have an earlier save on this one. So, to talk about my in-depth playing of this game, on the PS5, I think I used my cloud save, which has 52 hours, but my primary save is up to 80 hours. For whatever reason, my cloud stuff didn't get synchronized between everything, but my main save is up to 80 hours for this character. And I've gone through the game kind of like a few times. It's sort of wild how much I've actually played and experienced this. So I am very, you know, intensive about saying that this is a game that is well worth your time and is full of exciting things to do. They've cleaned it up really nicely. If you've still been waiting for whatever reason, if you were like 2.0 update, I'll wait for 2.1, even though they said they're not updating it anymore. We got a surprise update here, which I wasn't expecting. If you've been waiting for this one, you know, the time is now, because it's great. It really is. It's awesome. Seriously, they've upgraded some nice stuff. Coming from the 2.0 update, which was the previous one, you know, there's now, like, combat in vehicles, which I never really cared for or needed, but, you know, it's here, and the cops now attack you in, like, a GTA-style sort of situation, so the police will come after you if that's something you've always been wanting. You know, that is now a situation in the game where you deal with that. Oh, usually there's enemies here. Oh, there is. Okay, that's good. Didn't want to have nothing to deal with as we came into this area, because I've kind of got these, like, preset when I go in here and dive in and play this stuff so I can show things off well. But yeah, this game is absolutely excellent. It's full of life and full of excitement and different areas and different leveling and different scenarios and setups. You are doing a role-playing game that is mature. It is a story that, you know, doesn't hold back. It's got adult content. It's got mature themes. And I think it's great that we have gaming experiences that don't, like, hold your hand to some degree, if that makes sense, because it is, you know, it's difficult to find games that really lean into this sort of thing, and I always love that about the CD Projekt Red titles, is the level of maturity that is present. You know, like this is a full, intense cyberpunk world, and it's awesome. Like there's so much you can do in this, and so much you can enjoy. It is very much well worth your time, and I think you'll have a blast playing this, especially if you're coming in here for the first time. I myself am actually considering doing another run of the game at this point, because the scope and the way they've changed things, like how you interact with stuff. It's like not only will the police come after you too now, as of the 2.1 update, they'll now be like, if you've angered a gang, they will harass you in like vans, and they're actually pretty high levels, and they will come after you, and they're kind of annoying. I haven't had any come after me this time, which is good, but yeah, they can be really, really annoying, which isn't ideal. But yeah, it's so great. I've always loved this game, and it's nice to see that others are now able to, I guess, have that like appreciation for this one. It's more so that experience I think we probably should have had closer to a few years back, but now we're finally getting with all the updates, all the changes. It's really nice that they've actually gone and fixed this one up to such a degree. And it's wild that I'm actually here kind of doing the last review, I suppose, for this one. Well, I kind of figured that, like, you know, even with all the updates, that we were going to be done a long time ago. And to have it kind of stretch on like it has is interesting, too. It's been great for content. You know, definitely loved covering this game. But it is also a bit peculiar, too, because I didn't really anticipate that I'd be sitting here so many years on still covering this one. It's utterly fascinating to me that has happened. It's very, very interesting that is the case. But it's great, you know. I've had, just like I said, a blast taking a look at on all these different platforms, you know, seeing what it has to offer, battling against, you know, various enemies, going through it multiple times. It's been a true treat, because the game is just like filled with content, you know, tons of guns, weapons, tools, vehicles, personalization, customization. You know, it's got in-depth cyberware enhancements so your character can become more powerful, tons of clothing options, weapons and tools and enhancements. The map is just filled, and I mean filled with things to do, missions, jobs. I've done like basically everything. Then there's all these like skill trees and in-depth skill trees you can advance and change in order to improve your character. There are dozens upon dozens of missions, side missions, activities, quests. Almost like an endless amount of things that you can do in this game. Like, Night City is just filled to the brim with activities and excitement and fun. And you're role-playing, right? So you make your male, female V, and you go out into the city, and it is a story about survival. Like, your character is trying to survive. It starts off simple, you know, you kind of choose your path, how you want to start out, and then it evolves over time, and it becomes this crazy adventure of this character, and you're dealing with this other personality, which is, you know, Keanu Reeves, Johnny Silverhand. You're stuck kind of fighting off with this thing in your head, or working with it, or, you know, you make choices. You are the determining factor for how things work out between your character and that voice in your head and everything like that. It's really, really quite intriguing. And as I said, there's a lot to enjoy in this game around that. There's so many unique main characters, side characters. That's the area where you would go into like the Phantom Liberty expansion, but I don't have it on this game. I don't have it on PlayStation. The Phantom Liberty expansion. I did it on the other platform. I'm sorry. But yeah, you run into so many characters, and then it goes beyond that. Like, you have romance plots and romantic elements with your side characters that you come across, and you get to build up that relationship, and then with that most recent update, you can actually, like, you know, hang out with them and stuff, and it's nice. They feel like real characters and individuals that you interact with. And I think that is really, really quite exciting and interesting that they've gone that far with that sort of element of it. Because it's like, it's about meaningful experiences with the characters you run into, the experiences you have, the missions you go on, the choices you make, the battles you have, how you approach scenarios really is quite exciting and just filled to the brim with details. And then also now immersion, because it is much more immersive with all these little, extra tweaks and things that they've added. They went from, something that was a little bit emptier, and they've filled it with a lot more life. And I know, like, the car density and stuff could be better, but I think, like, the amount of people, living their lives on the streets and stuff like that is pretty good. It's pretty detailed. You can now interact with some vendors and stuff to a more full degree than you could in the past. It's great. Like, it really is genuinely just filled with crazy amounts of things that you can enjoy and you can play. And it looks really, really great on the PS5. Like, seriously, with the performance mode, like, the resolution quality is excellent. It feels and handles well. There's a high level of fidelity to it. It's really genuinely a nice experience. And I think it offers something that just feels really great. Whether you are running about, driving away from the cops, maybe, no matter how you want to take in, Night City, day or night or whatever, it's just a place that is just so alive and crazy and filled with just insane levels of over-the-top art and design, and something that I think really, as I said, hits the Cyberpunk world of my dreams element very, very effectively, because it is such a world of distinct creativity and design. What are you doing all the way out here? This is weird. There's not usually this sort of thing out on the streets. This is very, very strange. No quick hacks installed? Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. Why don't I have a quick hack installed? That's a nightmare. But yeah, it's also got like such style and flair. The music, the lighting, the scope of the world. And yeah, they've really, really designed something, and finally fully have realized the scope of it to the degree that we can enjoy this game and be like, yeah, it's pretty amazing. It has a lot to offer. It's thrilling, exciting. You could do like, the missions are so crazy too, and you do like these side missions that like stretch on for like a good hour and a bit, some of them, and you just go on these like surreal sort of experiences as you're just doing sometimes really dumb stuff, sometimes really fun stuff. It's weird. And now with the racing, if you're into the whole cars, it's a more competitive scene, and you can like redo races, which are cool. I wish you could like have more dynamic, like, environmental type quests would be great, but yeah, I guess at this point we're sort of just waiting for them to get working on that next Cyberpunk experience. That's what I'm looking forward to, because we know a sequel's coming down the line. And yeah, well, I didn't get to check out, the PlayStation evolution of this game quite as much. It has been nice to sit here and take a look at this through these last few updates, see it in action, and just kind of enjoy what this has had to offer. Just eating like a burger. It's kind of funny. Huh. It really is something that has genuinely just been so filled with things. Like, it's kind of just wild. I honestly didn't expect to have spent so much time with this game and been on such a journey with it over a few years. Because most games, you just kind of, you play it, and then you move on. I guess we're getting closer to a point where you do... What are you doing on this? She's just floating up here? Because... What are you doing? She's living on the edge. What can I say? Yeah, we're getting to a point, I guess, for some games where they do stretch on for a while, do developments and choices made with development, but a full, better experience is here with Cyberpunk. It's one that I think you can really enjoy if you're coming in fresh. I would highly recommend grabbing Phantom Liberty to expand that. Even if you're returning to the game, Phantom Liberty expands your end game greatly, but it's something that is like a full scope experience that I think you will absolutely have a great time playing and be blown away with the entire time through, as they've really cleaned this up nicely.